Urban legends have always been an integral part of society's culture, representing fears, hopes, and even critiques of the existing social order. One of the most famous legends in Eastern Europe is the Black Volga. Taking the form of a menacing black car, this story has spread and taken deep root in Poland, Russia, and other countries around the region. The Black Volga is not just a scary story, but a symbol of deep, unspoken fears that haunted society during the Soviet era. The Black Volga legend began to emerge in the 1960s and 1970s when Eastern Europe was under communist rule. The car in question was the Gaze Volga, a large sedan that, at the time, was often associated with authority or influential people in society. The Volga was a status symbol used by government officials and rarely owned by ordinary citizens. The story of the Black Volga started with rumors spreading among the populace. People began reporting sightings of this black car roaming the streets at night, often seen in deserted and rarely traveled areas. With dark windows that couldn't be penetrated by light, the car was said to approach people who were alone, particularly children, and abduct them without a trace. Like many urban legends, the Black Volga story has numerous variations, depending on who tells it and where the story has developed. Some of the most famous versions include KGB and secret agents. One of the earliest and most common variations is that the Black Volga was driven by KGB agents or other secret officials. They used the car to abduct people deemed threats to the government. Those kidnapped by the Black Volga were never seen again, causing widespread fear among the population. In this context, the Black Volga became a symbol of unseen and repressive power, reflecting the fear of corrupt and arbitrary government control. The Devil Driver, or supernatural creature. Another version of the story focuses more on the supernatural element. In some tales, the driver of the Black Volga is said to be the devil or another evil creature seeking human souls to take to another world. This legend is often accompanied by gruesome descriptions, such as the smell of sulfur accompanying the car, or the car's ability to vanish without a trace after an abduction. This story is strongly rooted in rural areas, where belief in superstitions and supernatural forces remains strong. Organ harvesting. In more modern times, the Black Volga story has adapted to contemporary fears, particularly about human organ trafficking. In this variation, the black car is used by criminal syndicates to abduct people and harvest their organs for sale on the black market. This reflects modern concerns about the loss of personal security and the rise of organized crime in society. Targeting children. One of the most terrifying and widespread variations is the story that targets children. The Black Volga is said to roam around schools or playgrounds, searching for vulnerable young victims. This story is often used by parents to scare their children into not wandering alone outside after dark. With a highly moralistic tone, this story emphasizes the importance of caution and adherence to social rules. To understand why the Black Volga became so frightening and remains relevant among the public, it is essential to look at the social and cultural context in which this story developed. During the Soviet regime, Eastern Europe was under the grip of an authoritarian and repressive government. Strict surveillance, loss of individual freedoms, and constant uncertainty about personal safety created a climate of deep fear. In such an atmosphere, urban legends, like the Black Volga, became an outlet for people to express their fears about invisible and uncontrollable power. This frightening black car became a metaphor for a threat that could not be identified, but was always present, reflecting the sense of powerlessness felt by many under the regime. Additionally, this legend also mirrors the social changes occurring in Eastern Europe during the second half of the 20th century. With rapid urbanization and increasing anonymity in big cities, people began to feel a new kind of insecurity. The Black Volga became a symbol of the fear of the unknown and the loss of social connections that previously provided a sense of security. Although the Black Volga may have originated from folktales spread by word of mouth, its influence cannot be overlooked. This story has inspired various adaptations in popular media, including films, books, and television shows. In many of these adaptations, Black Volga is depicted as a terrifying and unavoidable entity, always lurking in the shadows, ready to strike at any moment. Beyond media, the Black Volga has also become a symbol often used in discussions about Eastern European history and politics. This black car not only reflects the fear of repressive power, but also the uncertainty and fragility of life under totalitarian regimes. In this sense, the Black Volga becomes more than just an urban legend. It becomes part of the collective memory of societies that have endured difficult and uncertain times. The Black Volga legend is a perfect example of how folklore can reflect the fears, hopes, and collective experiences of a society. Rooted in the uncertainty and fear that gripped Eastern Europe during the Soviet era, this story continues to live and evolve, reflecting shifting concerns over time. While the origins and truth behind this story may never be fully confirmed, one thing is clear: the Black Volga has become an inseparable part of the cultural and psychological legacy of Eastern European society. This legend reminds us of the power of folklore in shaping our perceptions of the world, as well as how unspoken fears can take shape in stories that continue to resonate across generations.